All right, guys. Vlog 208. So I thought for this one I'd do a just a rapid fire of stuff that's been coming up for the last month. That's on my chest here. I just finished lunch. It's Monday, February 3rd, 2025. Son just got home from school. He's a half schooler day because he's special, and so he only gets half school day. So he's watching TV right now. I'm out here in the kitchen having lunch and contemplating what I'm going to do today, even though I can't do much with a bum foot, but whatever. So I had some stuff that's come across my mind that I wanted to talk about, some rapid fire stuff. So I'm just going to go from stuff that's happened like weeks ago up into current. So let's start all the way back to the end of the Viking season. Not happy with the way it ended, but I can't be too disappointed because it was a season nobody expected the Vikings to win 14 games. But we were expected to win 6. Um, so Sam Darnold had a great season, although he had a couple clunkers at the end. And it's going to cost him money, I predict. But I think he's going to get money somewhere. I don't think the Vikings are going to re-sign him. I think some way, somehow, we're going to work out a tag and trade. There are teams that are interested in him. I think there's going to be teams that are going to talk to us that know we're going to want something out of him. I don't think we're going to tag him. I think his market is Baker Mayfield money, and I think he's going to get a 3-year, $120 million contract, which, if he gets tagged by the Vikings, is at $40 million a year. So that kind of works in that favor. So I could see us tagging him and then letting him talk to other teams. And teams that I think could potentially be interested in Sam would be the Vegas Raiders. They need a quarterback because their quarterbacks suck. And I think Pete Carroll would be a good coach for him. I think it'd be a good situation for him. They got some weapons. They need a lot of help, though. But I could see him going there, even if they decided to draft Shedeur Sanders, if Shedeur drops that much in the draft, which I don't think he will. Excuse me. Tennessee's looking for a quarterback. I think they're out on Will Levis, although I wouldn't be surprised if they go, um, go with him for one more year. They got the number 1 draft pick. They could take Shedeur number 1, which I've heard rumors that Shedeur has and Dion, his father, have stated they do not want to go to Tennessee. So they got the number 1 pick, so they could easily trade down for getting more draft capital like the Bears did. The Bears held all the cards in last year's draft, so I could see the Titans doing the same thing. They got a lot of holes to fill. Cleveland has a quarterback problem because the whole I won't say his name because he's a total piece of shit human being. You know who I'm talking about. The guy that used to play for the Browns. Or excuse me, not the Browns, the Houston Texans, but got traded and then got in trouble. So they're in cap hell right now, and there's a lot of rumors about Kirk Cousins being cut by the Falcons because, they're moving on from him, even though they paid him all that money. Kirk could go somewhere else for the league minimum because Atlanta's got to pay him all that buttload of money guaranteed. So, and Kirk knows Kevin Stefanski, the head coach, because he was our coordinator here in Minnesota when Kirk first got here. So, I could see Kirk going to Cleveland and helping them out for a year or two. Maybe another off season of healing up that'll help Kirk. With his Achilles, it was pretty obvious he was still banged up. So, I think Kirk could definitely go to Cleveland. That could be a possibility for him or Sam in Cleveland. I don't think the Jets are a possibility. I don't think Sam wants to go back to New York. That would be a dumpster fire. And I don't think the Giants would be a good fit either because it's the same building, just a different team. But the Giants are a mess too. So there's options for Sam Darnold. Pittsburgh's another one. Russell Wilson and Justin Fields. It didn't work out there. I think Justin Fields should go back to Pittsburgh. I think he got a raw deal. He started off as their starter while Wilson was healing. And they were winning games with Fields. He wasn't lighting it up, but he was doing enough to help them win games. But they stopped playing him. And I think that has more to do with the fact that I think they were screwing around with the draft the draft when they traded for him from the Bears. I think they were screwing around with the draft picks that were attached to that deal. I think they were just trying to screw the Bears over because if Justin Fields had played a certain level of games or a certain amount of games, the Bears would get a better draft pick. And I think the Steelers intentionally changed that and made Wilson the starter the rest of the way because Fields didn't play any more games. He might have came in for injury or like if the Steelers were losing, but he never started any more games. I think the Steelers effed around with that. I think Fields would make a decent starter in Pittsburgh, but Sam could fit in there too. So there's options for Sam Darnold. I think a sign and tag, a tag and trade is a possibility. If they don't and he goes elsewhere, they will get compensation, but it won't be until next year's draft, the 2026 draft. So I think regardless of what happens, Sam Darnold will not be back with the Vikings. It is the J.J. McCarthy show, and I'm totally fine with that. Moving on into 2025. Speaking of the Vikings, they lost to the Lions to end the season, and I called it. I said the Lions were going to be one and done in the playoffs. I knew that defense was not going to hold up. It wasn't holding up. It was being held together by duct tape. Yes, they shut us down, but I knew they didn't have. I knew they wouldn't stand a chance into the playoffs, and they didn't. They got their ass kicked by the Commanders, and they have to get healthy. And now they've lost two of their coordinators to the Chicago Bears and the New York Jets. So now they got to pick brand new coordinators, and they might be losing some of those free agents. So I don't think the Lions will be as good as they were this year, and certainly last year. I think they'll compete. Like the Vikings and the Packers did, but I don't think they'll be as good as they were this year. Obviously, they weren't as good as their record showed because they were the number one seed, and yet they got their ass kicked. So I think the Lions fans, and I know a few Lions fans, they're all family of mine, need to pump the brakes just because you've been successful for 2 years in a row, but 2 playoff exits, you need to pump the brakes. Let's see you guys keep winning division titles on a regular basis instead of twice now in the last 30 plus years. Just got to keep it up and you'll get there someday. We have NASCAR. Daytona's coming up. I don't really follow NASCAR anymore. The sport's pretty much dead in my eyes. It started going downhill after the death of Dale Earnhardt. And they changed the playoff rules every freaking year. The chase for the cup was fine. It was okay. But this whole 3 stages bullshit that they've pulled, and they're just changing the cars to be everybody's pretty much equal to one another instead of separate manufacturers. Although they do have separate manufacturers, except it's just the name of the car and the make on the car. That's all it is. The whole cars in general are the same. And they're just some of the stupid rules they're making in NASCAR has just ruined it. The sport's been ruined since the mid 2000s. I don't care anymore. And of course the whole election. I'm pissed off about that. I have a whole rant I could do on that. And now of course it's been a month. It's only been a couple weeks since dipshit's taken office, and he's already fucked everything up. And people are bitching. And people that voted for him are bitching. And I'm just going to say, we told you so. You got exactly what you voted for. We told you what he was going to do. He told you what he was going to do. His idiot followers that are in his cabinet and in his political office told you what they were going to do. And now everybody's surprised Pikachu face. Like, what the fuck's going on? Gas prices are not going down. Food prices are not going down. They're still going up. Everybody's freedoms are getting taken away. He's making executive orders to block benefits that help families in need. He's making orders that we can't recognize special interest groups days like Martin Luther King Day and gay pride stuff and recognizing Black History Month. He wants to ban all that. Basically, if you're not a white male, Trump doesn't give a shit about you. So you folks that voted for him, thinking he was going to help everything, you got exactly what you wanted, and now we're all paying the price. So all I'm going to say about that to end that rant is to all those of you that supported him and put us in this mess that he's put us in now just a couple weeks, fuck you. You're the reason why we're in this mess now. Instead of voting for the right person for the job, and you didn't vote for her simply because you didn't want a woman running the country and telling people what we can and can't do, which would have been continuing to run this country in the right direction, but now we're going back to the fucking dark ages. So because of you people, we're in this mess. So fuck you all. I don't care if I lose friends or family over that. You're all part of the Trump problem, and I hope you're happy. Finishing off, I want to rant about, we'll talk about WWE. Royal Rumble was Saturday. The PLE, there was like 5 matches. I love Triple H. He's done pretty good since taking control after Vinnie Mac was forced out, and he's been doing some good things. But lately, I don't agree with making the PLEs shorter as far as less matches and more storyline crap. They're pushing some of the agendas down our throats and going with some of them that should have just ended by now, and they're continuing with others. There's not enough matches in the PLEs. I think there should be more matches for those. All these title belts they keep adding. I'm sorry. Yeah, it's nice to see the ladies getting their due and they're getting more belts added for them, but it's just there's too many fucking title belts in WWE. And especially now when you're in a partnership with TNA and they got their own title belts, I know they're not gonna do a TNA title match on a WWE programming and vice versa, but they gotta stop watering down the competition with all these title belts. It's gonna be so bad soon that everybody's gonna be holding the title belt. I mean, the freaking Rock's carrying a title belt, and that's just a made-up title belt. It's ridiculous. They need to do something. If they're gonna cut down the competition down to 5-6 matches a show, then what's the point of the brand extension and all these damn titles? Unify everything again and just do it what it used to be during the Monday Night Wars of WCW and WWE, where you have, WWE had 2 shows, SmackDown and Raw, but they had just a handful of title belts. They had the Federation title, the Intercontinental title, the Hardcore title, the Tag titles, and the Women's title, and the Light Heavyweight title, which was their version of the Cruiserweight title. They need to go back to the basics on that. It's just too watered down. Match-wise, I wasn't surprised Kevin Owens lost. There was nobody, I don't think anybody expected him to beat Cody Rhodes. I think it was a waste of a match. Cody Rhodes, though, I think I can see him dropping the belt at WrestleMania in a couple months. We'll see. A few months. I think it's April. The Women's Royal Rumble was predictably obvious. There was a lot of rumors about who was coming back and who was showing up. And in the end, it was Charlotte Flair who making her return, and she won the Rumble. Big fucking surprise. Big yawn fest. I'm sorry. She did not need to win the Royal Rumble. She did not deserve to win the Royal Rumble. She only won because of her last name, because of her daddy. They want to get the belt back on her because they probably want her to tie Daddy's record and break the women's record as the most decorated women's champion. It's beyond ridiculous. There's so many other competitors on the women's roster that deserve that spot as Royal Rumble winner. And she just comes waltzing in and winning it. I'm sorry, that was a dumb idea. And as far as the men's concerned, I'm glad they didn't do the obvious one, which was put it on John Cena or CM Punk. As much as I like Punk and I'm glad he's back, they put on Jey Uso, Well deserved. The ending was great. Him and Cena battling out on the ropes there, and in the end, Uso flipped out of it. Cena fell off the apron and hit the floor. And at least Cena at the end, after the shock and wore off, he got in the ring. He congratulated Jay, shook his hand, raised his hand high, and they both pointed to the. I think I saw Cena had pointed to the WrestleMania sign, and then Uso did it on his own, like every Rumble winner does. So Jay Uso, whomever he faces for the title, I'm not sure either. It's going to be the world champion Gunther, or it's going to be Cody Rhodes, whatever one. Well deserved, and we'll see if he gets the belt at WrestleMania. Other than that, the show was okay. The surprises were okay. AJ Styles came back in the men's Rumble. There was some TNA superstars that showed up in both women's and men's. It was okay. It wasn't spectacular, but WWE needs to fix it, though. It's getting kind of boring, but we'll see. I know we're probably going to see Seth Rollins and CM Punk at WrestleMania, because those two have a heated battle. It's not just on screen; they literally do not like each other. So that one could be coming to a head at WrestleMania, and I'm all for that one. That'll be a good match. And of course, Roman Reigns. What's going to happen with him? We'll find out. But that's it. That's the end for this video. Got a little long, but I wanted to talk about a few things. The Vikings season ender and Sam Darnold, the Lions, and my quick rant about Trump, which came out of nowhere. I didn't even think about talking to him, and then it just popped in my head. And then, of course, WrestleMania and the Royal Rumble. So I'm sure I'll do some more of these as time goes on. I know these video vlogs have been shorter lately because of what I've been going through. I just can't update. I can't edit anything. It's got to be straight raw like this. And as soon as I post, as soon as I finish videotaping it, it goes straight up right away, because there's nothing more I can do. But I'll have some more of these coming up, and I'll talk some more as the weeks and months go by. So if you like this vlog, hit that like button, leave a comment if you like, subscribe to my channel. If you'd like to help out with future projects, upgrades to my channel, hardware or software, mostly hardware I need help with, please visit my Patreon at patreon.com/mntwins28, or you can visit something old, or you're going to put something on my old Cash App. Shows you how much I've been talking about this lately. You don't have to help me, but any help is always greatly appreciated. And thank you for watching these videos, and until last time, peace out.